Taurus natives are undeniably one of the most attractive individuals on the zodiac, and rightly so. Who doesn't want a pragmatic and dependable man to take care of them, after all? Masculinity and security, this is what almost all women are looking for, and a Taurus is that, and more. Beyond the rational and practical approach to worldly matters, they are quite sentimental and affectionate at times, impulsive and aggressive at other times. Quite complex individuals, aren't they? 1. They expect you to keep your promises. One of the most important things to remember when trying to woo a Taurus is to always be punctual. And this cannot be overstated. Being punctual and keeping one's word is vital, because if the rules of common courtesy are broken, that is it. There are no refunds, no second servings, and no more chances. If given the "sorry I'm late" answer, a Taurus will believe you don't hold him in any regard whatsoever, that you don't even care about his feelings. In this regard, those liable to arrive half an hour later to date should probably rethink their approach, or else they'll suffer. Libras and Leos are therefore not suited for Taurus, fortunately, or unfortunately. 2. They can be overprotective. Natives of true valor and virtue, they know how to take care of and protect the people they hold dear, even in the greatest storms and conflicts. That is because nothing is more important to a Taurus than family and close ones. Dedicated and loving, there is nothing he wouldn't do to protect those he loves, and that is something worth appreciating. There is, of course, a catch here, and that is the patience and slow pace of a Taurus before fully deciding to choose their soulmate. They aren't easily deceived or manipulated, and they know that. While a very compassionate and determined individual, a Taurus native will find it unacceptable if his love is taken for stupidity, or if it's taken advantage of. Quite attached to what is theirs, they won't react nicely if they find you pickpocketing their jacket, or trying to hack into their laptop when alone. Besides it being a very lowly thing to do, it's also demeaning and a form of betrayal, so it's really obvious why it's a no-go for them. 3. They will not stop until they send their point across. Stubborn and determined individuals that don't like to lose, they will never give up on an idea or an argument, no matter the cost it takes. It doesn't even matter if they're right or wrong, and not even the nature of the discussion is as important as imposing their viewpoint on others. One of the worst things you could do at this moment is to keep on contradicting a Taurus. Are you tired of living? Although rarely angry or truly upset, it does happen. And when it does, lo and behold, everything falls apart and all pretenses are dropped. They are really quite narrow-minded in this respect, but also quite steady and confident in what they hold as being true. 4. They expect you to invest time. This native is all about careful analysis and patience, even when courted. You're not going to bet a Taurus on the first date, so you should get that out of your head. They are very selective and picky about partners, preferring the independent and reliable ones to the flimsy and weak-willed guys. After all, isn't it better to know that someone is always there to offer help and support when in need? Of course, it is, and this is exactly what a Taurus desires the most. Unbridled affection and a sense of security. 5. They are not big fans of change. Not too keen on being forced to alter their behavior and attitude, Taurus won't react well to people who try to control and manipulate them. And why would they even change after all? It's not like there is something wrong with them. Agreed, some people could dislike their personality and approaches to some issues, but that is no reason to try and change them, set aside the fact that it most likely wouldn't succeed. Endowed with a great individualism and a strong sense of self-worth, these natives are their own people, and won't change for the world. 6. They are stable and dependable. A Taurus will never give up on his dreams, regardless of the obstacles that show up. There are a few things that could stop his relentless advance. Well, actually just one. If he could, he would keep on trying to succeed even after dying. That is how ambitious and persevering he is. And that is professionally speaking. In intimate relationships, they are even more determined and stuck on going all out and taking things to an end. Very loyal and trustworthy individuals who will challenge the whole world for loved ones, Taurus holds their principles in very high regard. Unless they truly believe in something, you won't be able to convince them to be on your side just by sweetening them up with words. 7. They are sensual in bed. This native may be a turtle when it comes to fully commit to a relationship, but that is because they are looking for someone specific, worthy to be more exact. If and when they do show interest and start to up their game, it can be said that the deal is as good as sealed. Because of the pretty strict standards and conditions, it can be hard to find someone truly perfect in that regard, but not impossible. In bed, Taurus is pretty diverse and passionate, never letting things unfinished or untaken care of, if you know what I mean. However, they aren't too keen or ingenious, preferring to keep things simple and romantic. 8. They are fiercely independent. Having always done everything through personal efforts and willpower, it's a given that Taurus has developed a very hands-on approach. Thus, in general, they prefer doing things of their own accord and by means of their own, without any outside help. It's not an act of arrogance or superiority, but one which shows their independence and reliability. That is perhaps the reason why they don't handle surprises very well. Having your plans ruined because of something unpredictable is not as enjoyable as it might seem, and the Taurus fully knows that. 9. Home is sometimes best. It probably comes as no surprise that Taurus natives are not big fans of social events and flashy parties. Being in the center of attention or being in the spotlight was never their idea of fun, and so they prefer a more quiet and tranquil environment. Meetings with close friends, weekends spent together with the family, or even individual trips are all preferable to them. So, for those interested in a Taurus, keep in mind that, while sociable and outgoing, they will always prefer to spend their time at home, or somewhere far away from the noises of the outside world. It's not that they are antisocial or heavily introverted, but instead, they have a different perspective on how they should be enjoying their free time. 10. They like the finer things in life. Taurus are generally people of great taste and even greater appetite. They enjoy life to the maximum and want to find comfort and pleasure in everything. After all, what's there to live for if not to feel good and have a bountiful experience? It is then evident that nothing intrigues them more than giving them a royal treatment, red carpet and all. So, to truly impress a Taurus, you yourself have to be a refined individual that settles for nothing less than the best. Some caviar, a bottle of Dom Perignon and a classy restaurant will make sure that not only will she start looking at you differently but even consider marrying you.